Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Lorna and I'm a university dropout. I did a year in Sheffield, I studied bioengineering and I ended up dropping out of the first year. I don't want anyone to do that. I want to make a video telling you what I did wrong, and hopefully if you're starting uni this year, or even if you've already started uni and you've had a rocky first year, how I've since returned to university and I've just completed my second year at Newcastle University studying maths, and it's gone so much better than my time at Sheffield. So I really hope you can take some good advice from this video. I Every university experience is totally different from another's, and I'm a totally different person to you. So just keep that in mind as I tell you my experience and I tell you my advice. Maybe take it with a pinch of salt. Like, I'm a different personality to you. You might disagree with some things I say. But I did make some, I would say, common errors that I think is, if I give you some warning about, you might be able to you might be able to avoid and have a much better university experience. At the end of the day, there's a lot of money at stake, and that's a big reason why I would like to make this video. If you could also keep in mind that I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I think sometimes I come across as very like, you must do this, or exaggerated. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. You can do whatever you want at university, and you can go to as many or as little lectures as you like. You can party as little as much as you want. I'm not trying to ruin your university experience. I'm just trying to give you some advice on what I think is the best way to proceed. I will tell you what happened in my first year, my story, and we'll go on about my experiences and what I noticed other people do wrong as well, because it wasn't just me who've messed up my first year. And then I'll end with advice. So hopefully this will be a helpful video for you. So if you're interested to know how to have a really successful first year and not drop out and not waste loads of money, then keep on watching. So first off, I actually finished my A-levels in the end of 2014. I did maths, physics and chemistry at A-level, and I got 3 Bs. I was predicted all A's, maybe even some A stars, but I had my own troubles during A-levels with my mental health. That meant that I didn't do as well as I was predicted, because I actually got 9 A stars and 2 A's at GCSE. So already I wasn't really in the right place and the right mindset to go and do a degree. But if you're in the same situation as me, when you're going through sixth form A-levels, they're very pushy about going to do a degree. I don't know, I think now they're starting to push a bit more on apprenticeships and stuff. They don't really tell you about your gap years and stuff and years out. I'll go into that more in the detail, but just keep in mind I didn't do as well as expected in my A-levels. So my first choice was Leeds University for bioengineering, and I didn't get in. I was very surprised because they wanted ABB from me at the very least. I think or either AAB or ABB for at the very least for bioengineering at Leeds. My insurance choice was Sheffield, which asked for the same. So I thought I had a feeling I wasn't going to do well in my A-levels. So I thought, if I don't get into Leeds, I'm not going to get into Sheffield. I'm not going to get into uni. I'll have to go through clearing. But actually, in the end, I ended up getting accepted by Sheffield with 3 Bs. Sheffield University in September 2014. I come from Durham, so I had to move all the way over to Sheffield. Since I was an insurance student in Sheffield, you don't get guaranteed accommodation, or you didn't back in 2014. So I got accepted, but they didn't actually have any accommodation for me. So when we went down, my mum was gonna buy me like this studio apartment for me, just for myself. And that would have cost so much money. I was really surprised she was going to do it, but she was going to get me a studio apartment. It would have cost like £160 a week, because there's literally nothing else. And I hadn't really sorted out moving. I didn't sort it out, and I didn't sort out moving into a house or anything. But luckily, right before the last week of the holidays, right before I started, someone must have dropped out because I ended up getting a room in Allen Court, which is a university undergraduate accommodation place. So I was very lucky, and I ended up having a relatively normal first year where I lived in student accommodation. I made friends with loads of people, and which I was surprised with because I'm not actually very good at making friends. I really struggle with making friends, but in Sheffield, I made some really lovely friends that I still talk to, and I still really love, and it was I really that side of Sheffield was really enjoyable and just really funny. The actual university side, the actual course, that is what went wrong, and that is some people you see dropping out because they didn't have any friends or hated their where they were living. I dropped out because of my course. Straight away, I just finished A levels. I'd had a really rocky 2 years with A levels and my mental health, and I was really not in the right headspace. I was quite happy. I was depressed during A levels, but during this year at Sheffield, I went really happy, really ecstatically happy actually. Everything seemed very sunny. But there was at the end of the day, I have like disabilities and stuff, and I don't really know what's going on sometimes. So essentially, I did go to my lectures at first. I did go out a bit, and I did start missing a few lectures in the first semester. But I did actually not miss too many lectures in the first semester. What really went wrong in the first semester was not actually keeping up with work. Whereas especially in GCSEs, but A level, I should have known from A levels. I didn't actually keep up with work during my undergraduate bioengineering degree. I would go to lectures, sort of sit there, be a bit confused, and then just come back and just not. I'd just have a nap or something. Like I did have a lot of naps in Sheffield. I didn't keep up with work. Sheffield didn't seem to set any homework along the way. Like there'd just be an exam at the end. There was a few labs. I was over the course of the year, I was beginning to not really like my degree. Bioengineering seemed like a Frankenstein of modules that they'd taken from all these other engineering degrees. So bioengineering in Sheffield wasn't really its own. Well, it was its own degree, but we did electrical engineering, control systems engineering, engineering mathematics, and then one module of bioengineering, which didn't even really give us much about bioengineering. That was my problem with bioengineering, and I've still have friends off my course who went and did this degree, and they're doing masters, which is a lot more about bioengineering. But I just felt in this first year that the bioengineering course wasn't very. It just seemed like it seemed like general engineering, and I was really wanting to do the biology of it, and applying engineering to biology, but maybe I should have given it more time. But I wasn't really into engineering. That's what I wasn't into, and I wasn't doing well in the engineering subjects. I wasn't even doing that well in the biology subjects because I'd never taken biology at A level. The only subjects I did very well in were like the maths ones. So something happened over Christmas, which I can't go into too much detail because it's not a very nice story to share on YouTube, but essentially it made me not want to go to any of my lectures for a solid 3 weeks because of another person, because if I went there, this other person would be there and I just couldn't see them under any circumstances. And I did try to tell the uni about it, but because I didn't want to talk about it because it was quite traumatic, they didn't do anything about it. So after I missed like this solid 3 weeks of lectures, after that I was just too far behind, and I just didn't go to lectures because I was too far behind. I had a slight learning difficulty, and I find it really overwhelming going to new places, and during exam seasons, I don't know if you know, but at universities their exams are set all over the city. It's not even, sometimes you don't take exams all in the university campus. Sometimes it'll be held in football stadiums and really random places, like random centres and churches. And in Newcastle they have exams in Premier Inns, and to someone who's got like a learning difficulty, it's very overwhelming, like having to revise for exam and worrying about going to. It might sound really naff, but it is like I access disability support at Newcastle University, and they put me in a small room in Newcastle University campus because they know how overwhelming it is for people with mental health issues and for people with learning difficulties. So I ended up actually missing some exams because I didn't know where they were. And even on Google Maps, and then like I was waiting for like trams and they weren't coming, and then I was ringing taxis and they weren't coming, and I was just like, I just got too overwhelmed, and like, I was already stressed because I was about to sit an exam that I didn't really know much about. A disaster, and I failed first year, and I decided that I did have the option of resitting, but I just decided to drop out because I didn't even think I'd pass my resits, even with a whole summer of revising. So yeah, I did. Maybe I sound very. My family just think that I partied the year away or something, but I didn't actually party that much. It was the overwhelming, and it was just a very overwhelming experience that I wasn't really ready for. And what I'm worried about is if anyone else isn't worried for what university is, and I'm going to share some sort of advice to help you. In first year, generally, a lot of people would say, "Oh, you only need 40%." Because in your first year of university, you don't get graded, and all you need to do is pass, really. And to pass, you need 40% in your exams, and all your coursework. And this is a very dangerous way of thinking because it gives you think getting 40% is easy. Even if you went to the lectures and didn't do work and just sat the exams, getting 40% actually might be quite difficult. It depends on your degree, especially for science and maths degrees. I would recommend, after doing a year of university wrong and a year of university better, to treat your first year like it is graded, because sometimes they do ask you for certain module marks if you want to apply for certain things in second year. Like you might want to apply for a year in industry, or a year out where you work, or a year where, or any type of internship or any type of job over summer, which you're getting because you've got a bit of university education. They will ask you, and if you've got 45 or whatever, that's not very impressive to people. You really need to be getting over 60, which is and I've seen a lot of people mess up. They didn't mess up first year, but they messed up their second year due to partying. Because if you just get into bad habits during first year, you can't just party away your first year and pass and then say, right, we'll knuckle down next year, because you've already got yourself in a routine, and it's just not good. So what I'd really recommend if you're about to start your first year of university is to really think and assess how independent you are already and how capable you are of being independent in areas such as how you work, how have your A-levels been, have you been really independent with them, how you live. If you've lived with your parents all your life, are you going to be able to handle cooking for yourself, cleaning yourself, keeping on top of your laundry, keeping on top of your food shopping, and studying at the same time? Also, your social life, depending on how much of a social life you need, are you able to go and see your friends at certain times whilst also leaving time enough for you to work? Or do you tend to just sit and hang out in your friend's room all night? Or are you alone, and do you find it really hard to make friends? And is uni going to be a very isolating experience for you if you don't make any friends? Because university will put all of those things to the test. Really, in the deep end, it's going to be hard, especially if you move away from your family and your friends and go to somewhere, and you'll have to take on each area and try and do your best to make and try your best to do well in that area. If I looked at myself at the end of my A-levels and I thought about how independent I felt I could live, I probably would have not thought very much. But I didn't think about that when I went to university. It just felt like you're doing more A-levels. If you feel like you need a break from studying, if you feel really tired from A-levels, because first year of university shouldn't be a break. You're going to have to work just as hard as you did during your A-levels. If you're really mentally drained from your A-levels, I would really recommend a year out. And a gap year, you don't have to go travelling, you don't have to go to Thailand, you don't have to spend loads of money travelling on your own and finding yourself. A gap year can literally be taking a part-time job. You can decide to take a gap year, don't worry about the job, just defer the entry. Because the worst thing is to do the course and then drop out, because I still have to pay £9,000 for Sheffield. I got nothing out of it. I didn't get anything out of first year of Sheffield. Qualifications wise, it still cost me £9,000 because I still did the full year. I still have to pay for the accommodation that I stayed and the living expenses, and it did teach me a lot of things that year. But I would be graduated now if I had stuck through a degree, and I wish I'd just taken the gap year. A gap year, you can literally just take it, just get a part-time job, clear your mind, work on other interests other than academic stuff, earn a bit of money for uni. The only cons to this is if you're the only one out of your group of friends at school who take a gap year, you'll see all your friends on Facebook. They'll be partying, they'll be making friends, they'll be having lions and going to like 3 lectures a week or something. They'll be living a life that you wish you were living, while you're living with your parents, who you're sick of probably. You'll have a shitty part-time job, and you feel like you're not really going anywhere. I still think this might be a better option, just because of the mental break from the excessive studying you've done, not just during your A-levels. Everyone has to try really hard during the GCSEs. You've been to school your whole life, you've had to follow the strict regimen. Taking a break, I think it would be really good. And if you can get a university place and defer it, that means you can have that break and not think, oh shit, where am I going next? You've got a university place at the end of it, and you can just look forward to that, and you will have your freshers, and you will and loads of people. Don't think you're going to be too old, because loads of people will have taken gap years and stuff, and you won't be like you won't be like a grandma or granddad there. There'll be people of all ages there. Also consider what degree you've chosen. Have you actually studied what you're actually going to do a degree in? Because there's a lot of degrees on offer that don't get offered at A-level. For example, engineering, which is what I did. You do maths, you do physics, you do chemistry, whatever. They don't teach you engineering at uni, as far as I know anyway. You might enjoy maths and physics, and you might enjoy really scientific subjects, STEM subjects. You might be really good at maths, and engineering is engineering is something you apply, and it's very broad, and every engineering degree is going to be really different. It's going to be a different mix. Some might be a lot more maths based than others, and some might be very practical based. And if you're doing an electrical engineering degree, have you actually done electricity? If you did one quarter of your A-level was devoted to electricity, is that enough to convince you that you want to do a full degree on electrical engineering? Do you want to study it to that depth? Politics, for a more humanities example. If you've studied history, you can usually study politics without doing the politics A-level. You might love writing essays and doing history, but do you actually really like politics that much? It might shock you. I really thought I wanted to do bioengineering. I really thought that was what I wanted to do in my life. I was wrong. I didn't like it. I do maths now, and at the time I wouldn't have chosen maths, but that's what I'm actually good at. And like, sometimes what you want to be good at isn't actually what you are good at, and sometimes the stuff that you really want to do isn't what you want to do. And that's just, if you find that is happening within the first few weeks of your university, you've got a certain amount of time within the first few weeks of starting a degree. You can transfer, you can change your course, you can do that, or you can leave and do a gap year and try again. This might be better than doing the whole year and dropping out because of the 9 grand. If you drop out or transfer, you might lose your accommodation, but it's in the long run financially you're going to be better off just making sure you change. Just be proactive, email people and talk to like course leaders and stuff if you're not happy, and if you're thinking about changing, they'll lead you in the right direction. They know what to do. It's actually really common. And my last tip is, you're going to have to be so organised at university. Spending time organising your life, it will be really useful. What I mean by that is just making sure you keep on top of the work that's set on you. After every day, look at the lectures that you've done, just read over the notes. If there's anything you don't understand, try and read up more about it. When you get set homework, try writing down when all these things are due, and sometimes you get like 3 things due on a Friday. You can't do that all on Thursday night. You can do one thing on Thursday night, but you can't do 3 things. So you're going to have to try plan where you want to do your homework, especially if you've got other commitments. You're going to have to plan how you're going to work around them. Making sure, maybe it's just a case of before your course starts, making sure you make like plastic wallets for all your things ready, and like have like your course, like put all your module titles ready, in your books, so that like you just be prepared, and like it helps you engage with the course more and makes you be a bit more like excited about it than if you just sort of stumble into a lecture like, this is introduction to algebra, okay, right, and then you just like stumble and you sat down, like, then you go away and you forget about it. You need to be more engaged and more organised about things when you're in university. University is really fun. I'm not trying to scare people off. Like, I do enjoy university, and I think most of you will have a great time. I just want that. Sometimes they don't tell you things about university. They don't tell you if you drop out in the first semester, you have to pay £4,500, and you're committed to a contract with your accommodation, so you could end up paying accommodation for the full year, even if you've moved back. If you've got accommodation in Sheffield and you're moving back to Durham, you've got accommodation there. If you leave before Christmas, and the second semester might be taken up by an international student. If you leave after Christmas, that's you will end up probably having to pay for the whole year, and you'll have to pay 9 grand, I think, if you leave in the second semester. And some people leave uni and don't go back to uni, but you still got that student debt, like, and the interest that's added onto student debt every month is about £100. So it's not just like, oh shit, I owe 15 grand. Over a few years, it'll just increase into quite a high sum. And you've got nothing to show for it. Also, make sure you try access disability support. I think a lot of people with not so much major disabilities, but people, if you're on the autistic spectrum, or if you've got a mental illness, if you do suffer from depression, which is quite common, every university has to give you support, and all you do is you message them, you declare your disability or your mental health condition, have a meeting, they'll sort it, you go through what you need, and usually if you have a disability or mental health, you can get small exam rooms, extra time in exams. Sometimes the module leaders will send out the notes at the beginning of the course, so you can like go over them before, especially if you find lots of information overwhelming. It'll be better to give you the course notes at the start, all this stuff and more like that. It's just so good, but a lot of people don't access because they don't want to, maybe it's because they don't want to accept the fact they've got a disability. It is really helpful. It makes your life just a lot easier if you access that support, which you need to do in the first sort of few weeks of you joining the university. So even if, because you think mental health, they wouldn't really do anything for you, but they do a lot. Especially Newcastle's really good. They've given me extra time in exams, rest breaks in exams, and the small room, so that you don't have to go and sit in an exam hall with 300 to 500 people. You sit in a room with about 30 people at the most, and especially when you're revising for exams, it takes the stress factor right down. Yeah, I really want. I went back to maths. I was in the right mindset to start my maths degree. I was all about. I want to learn all the maths. I want to do all the homework. I want to go to all the lectures. I want to know everything there is about maths. I want to know all algebra, calculus, logic, everything. Just give it to me. I was so into it. It has waned a little bit now after the end of the second year. I do kind of want to graduate. But no, I really was into it, and I was organised. I had all the paper, the pens, and I was like writing everything down in like books, every single little bit of thing I wanted to do, write it down. Really, just wanted to get a good degree, and I haven't failed any exams in at all so far at Newcastle. I mean, some exams I haven't done brilliant, but um, at the end of I know I'm going to get a degree at the end of it, and that is just enough for me. Um, I don't go out partying too much and stuff. I don't go out that much. I mean, I've got quite a lot of commitments going on at the moment. With my bodybuilding, my boyfriend, my friends from home, and then my maths degree. But I it's gone so much better, and I really owe it all to just taking a year out. I mean, I could have when I dropped out of Sheffield gone on to another course, but the same thing would have just happened again. Um, and I did maths. Maths is a subject I've known and loved since I was very young. Well, I didn't know I loved it, but I really over my gap year I really search for soul and search like what really do I enjoy, and it's not so much the maths, but what is included in maths, and that you have to understand concepts and stuff, which I really really like understanding, like abstract concepts, and it's just that sort of thing. Um, yeah, but I mean, I hope everyone's excited to start uni. Do focus on making friends. Friends are important. I would say try don't isolate yourself, and don't go making about 10 million friends that are always up for partying. Try at least to make a few close friends that will really help you settle in. Friends that you can rely on. Because you might have like a health problem, you might need to go to the doctors, you might need some advice, you might be struggling to you might be struggling to cook for yourself, look after yourself. Find some friends that are really gonna help you, preferably ones that you live with, that will be there for you, and you can also go out and have a good time with now and then. But yeah, just really, really, really be passionate about the subject that you're about to study, and really try your best in it. Don't see first year as a year that you can sort of like bunk off. See it as the foundation to the rest of your degree, because you need to have a good foundation to do well in the years that actually matter. So, and it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be harder than you think it's gonna be. It's not easier than A levels. Um, it's not a lot harder than A levels, but it's a long. You've got to try. So I hope I haven't scared you off from going to university, but I hope I've given some good advice. It's a video I've been wanting to do for a while. And if you do drop out, it's really not the end of the world, because I dropped out and I'm fine. Um, even if I didn't go back to university, you probably find a good job. I did actually get offered a job as a librarian, which would have been quite well paid. But then that was when I decided, now I'm going to go back to university, so you're not screwed. There's different things you can do instead of university. There's apprenticeships and other courses. Honestly, university is, they really do spread it thick on you when you're in A level, and they really should not. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope I gave some good advice, hopefully some different advice to what other people have given you in other videos, because my experience has been very different. I'm talking to you, I'm talking as a view of like a sort of more quieter student who got a bit lost, instead of someone who picked the wrong degree, if you know what I mean. Well, I did pick the wrong degree, but you know, yeah. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it wasn't too serious, and I hope it was helpful. Um, I'll do some more. I might do some more videos on my experiences at university. I might do a video talking about maths at Newcastle University. So if you're interested in maths or Newcastle University, you might want to watch that one. But I do more sort of fitness videos and vlogs and stuff. So if you like, you can like and subscribe, and that would make me really happy. So yeah, I hope you have a great day wherever you are, and goodbye.